I-V-M.
You've tuned into a show called Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch and you were expecting a spoiler-free episode. So there are many spoilers on this episode. Kripya ध्यान दीजिए.
So Janice,
Yeah.
I'll narrate to you the plot of the latest Black Mirror episode, all right?
Okay.
And this is really interesting. It's basically about a guy in 2033 who dies and then goes into some sort of a digital afterlife.
Okay.
Where essentially his consciousness continues to, connect with people back on Earth. And it's this really bleak story of this guy who's sort of stuck between two worlds. He can't really fully enjoy the afterlife. But at the same time, he's also incapable of maintaining relationships on Earth. And if you think that that's a bleak story that's like ideal for the Black Mirror world, I would completely agree with you, except that it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's actually the setup of a new Amazon Prime show called Upload.
Right.
And the weirdest part is that for a story that is that dark, that bleak, and something you would imagine Charlie Brooker to have all fun with, has been created by Greg Daniels, who created such great comedies as The Office and Parks and Recreation.
Right.
And it's amazing that he's been able to take an idea that is so evolved, so serious, so, it's almost like reflective of today's world and this modern sort of age where we are we've got two lives, right? One on social media and the other off social media. And it's almost like he's manifested that into what if our consciousness was really transported into digital. And he somehow managed to turn it into a sort of sunshiny, funny, heartwarming show.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I mean, wasn't that like a jarring kind of a tonality for you to experience?
Firstly, I love this because for a very long time, we've always thought of like what happens after you die, right? And most shows have always dealt with it with like a huge like amount of grief and there's sadness and there's, you're unsure of what's going to happen. But Upload, like another show that you and I love called The Good Place,
Right.
Deals with it with like a lot of comedy, romance, and a lot of surprise elements. First of all, the whole idea to think that you could actually upload yourself into an entire universe, like a retirement place, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, where this character Nathan gets uploaded
Sure.
is almost like a retirement home.
It
But
is,
it's like the
is.
retirement home of your dream.
Yeah, it's basically a place you never die, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like after you die, you continue to live. And so look, it's a very interesting. The reason I said it belongs to the Black Mirror universe is that there could have been a very positive spin to this as well, right? The Good Place, as you pointed out, obviously plays a lot on morality. And I mean, Good Place is clearly one of my favorite shows, and I love it because I feel that it's such a interesting concept and it talks about such deeper themes in such an interesting manner.
And it's
But-
constantly forcing you to think.
Yeah, but the thing about the thing about Upload is that it's also about corporate greed, right? It's about this corporation that has this amazing idea where they've managed to basically take control of the earth because they are basically the ones called. It's almost like I got such weird feels from watching Upload because I could relate to so many different genres. It's Mr. Robot at one place. It's also The Good Place. It's also Ghost in a sense. The Patrick Swayze,
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg sort of a dynamic is playing out here as well because halfway through the season, you realize that, in fact, very early on in the season, you realize that the character Nathan Brown, who's been uploaded to the afterlife, may have actually been killed. And the person who is now helping him try, get down to the bottom of what may have happened is basically this character played by Andy Allo, who is Nora, who is basically his point person on
His
Earth, for example. His
angel.
angel. So that entire track seems like a combination of Ghost and Her, which was that Joaquin Phoenix film, right? Where he basically interacts with AI.
Yeah.
And it's like they've turned it around. It's like the AI was the customer service person, and here the human is actually servicing somebody in the AI. So, all these really varied themes come together so well. And I'll tell you something very frankly, when I saw the trailer, I felt like it was a good idea that wouldn't really turn into a really good show, but I was really surprised by how good it is. I think it's some of Greg Daniels' best work because the episodes are witty, they are funny, They are ensuring that the story keeps moving along. The relationships between the characters are great. It's critiquing the world. It's doing all of that so well, right?
Actually, for me, it's always really interesting in these very futuristic shows. Of course, the first episode itself, your mind is sort of blown because even when you're watching the character, when you're watching Nathan sort of get uploaded into this afterlife, you're forced to sort of think like, would if that choice were offered to me, would I want to get uploaded or would I just want to go the natural way and then see whatever the universe has planned for me and not what humankind has planned for me, right? But the other thing I love about shows like, one of the reasons why we love Black Mirror is also because you get to see what thinkers and creators are actually possibly developing and could happen in the future.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff that we saw in earlier seasons of Black Mirror is playing out in the universe right now.
Yeah.
So similarly, it's like it's always cool to watch these kind of futuristic shows, especially when they're playing around with so much tech.
Yeah.
Because you almost kind of some of it is set in reality, some of it is based on
absolutely.
research on what app developers are actually doing right now. So it's kind of cool to see that maybe in a fiction form and maybe in an exaggerated fiction form, you're already seeing maybe a future version of yourself.
Yeah, I think what happens is that having a Black Mirror available to us for a few years makes the concept of upload very digestible.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
almost like now the creators are aware that the audiences are familiar with how this entire futuristic, drama format plays. So they don't really spend too much time in trying to explain things to us. Neither does it take us too long to grasp what is happening. So what would have seemed like a extremely groundbreaking idea many years ago, it's actually really a very simple but smart idea.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what worked the most was that while it draws us in with its idea, it does not depend on that idea to keep it, sort of moving forward. I think for me, the biggest takeaway of the show was the relationship played by Nathan. Of Nathan played by Robbie Amell and Nora, played by Andy Allo, who I'm totally crushing on right now.
Yeah, I could see that through the show.
Dude, Andy Allo has such amazing screen presence. She's just this ball of sunshine, and all her scenes with him are so good. And I also feel they're like a rare actor-actress combination I've seen on TV lately who just have such good chemistry. And I don't know if it's because of the actors themselves or because the characters have been so well written. There's this constant to and fro happening between the two of them where they are funny with each other. They're also soulful around each other. They're emotional with each other. And all their scenes really, really work. And I was really rooting for them, right? And I think that's like half the battle won, because if you're rooting for a character who's sort of living in the afterlife to fall in love with the character who's living on Earth, and then you're constantly invested in them and trying to figure out how it is that they'll get together, that's like, right there, I am like completely, bought in.
I don't think I have such hardcore feelings about the leading couple because I do. I love their chemistry. I love their vibe. I love their scenes. But I think clearly you were far more smitten than I was with their on-screen
What I'm saying is that the show evolved from being a futuristic show about the afterlife into it being a relationship drama.
Yeah, because at the heart of it, I think Upload is a love story with a bit of a thriller element. They've just chosen a futuristic setting, right? But think of it. It could totally be like a girl who's communicating with a ghost in the afterlife. We've seen so many movies where someone has come back to avenge something that he couldn't sort of complete on Earth, and he's fallen in love with a human character.
Yeah,
I don't know which film I'm talking about.
It's like if in Ghost, Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg had a romantic track.
You mean Demi Moore?
No, I'm saying if in Ghost, Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg had a romantic track,
like
that would be the plot line for Upload.
Sure.
Which is what makes it interesting. In fact, the Demi Moore character is played by this really interesting girl called Ingrid, who's a complete bitch actually, and nothing like Demi Moore.
So just think like Mean Girls and really rich Mean Girls, or any of the main characters from Gossip Girl.
So it's also interesting that there is, you've got an option to opt for various kinds of afterlives. And Ingrid, who is his girlfriend, obviously belongs to a really rich family and has got her boyfriend sort of booked into this really premium afterlife, and she's the one paying the bills.
Yeah.
So it's almost like he owes his afterlife to her. He does not owe his life to her, but he owes his afterlife to her. So he's also playing with that conflict. But earlier in the episode, you spoke about The Good Place, and it's just so interesting. I'm almost convinced that Greg Daniels and Michael Scow, who were both co-creators on Parks and Recreation and wrote so much of The Office together, went on to create The Good Place and Upload. It's almost like there has been some jamming session that took place years ago, where a lot of these ideas came about, and like both of them went on to write different but quite similar shows in a sense, right?
Yeah, because A Good Place, I mean, at the heart of it, even with the comedy and all, is a very, like, it makes you think about your morals. It makes you think about your choices. It makes you think about everything. I feel like The Upload is a very, light sort of take where, you're really just, like, currently the Upload is not moralistic in any way, right? It's a love story, and it's this guy who's stuck in an afterlife that he didn't know whether he wanted in the first place. Right?
Yeah, so I feel The Good Place is more a reflection of our lives in the sense that actually between the two, The Good Place is more plausible in a sense that because we have for years, since when we were kids or even before that, we've always spoken about heaven and hell, right? We've always spoken about karma, about doing good things, and so that, in the afterlife, good things happen to you. And The Good Place really takes that idea and just, explores that further and plays on that. And where it really becomes a great show is that it essentially eventually tells us that there is no such thing as a good human being and a bad human being. We all do good and bad things. Yeah. And good people could end up in the bad place and vice versa.
Because of our choices, yeah.
Sure, but I think The Upload is trying to do other things. I think Upload is more a critique of the world right now about how relationships have become digital in nature. There is so much, validation is so important to so many people.
And the materialistic aspect of it. In fact, in a sense, I feel like The Upload is so different from The Good Place in the sense that The Good Place essentially also tells you that there is the heaven and hell concept, right? Which is not made by man, which Correct. Is at the end of the day, some celestial beings are taking care of that.
Higher being,
but Upload is a fully man-made concept where humans have evolved to such a point of wanting to live out their narcissistic lives forever, especially if you have money and possessions of materialistic wealth, that they've actually created an AI version of them that allows them to live forever, right?
Sure.
And the whole topics are still sort of underlaid. Like there is exploitation because, for example, when you are seeing The Upload in the first or the second episode itself, you're also shown that, in case you're poor, there is a poor man's version of this as well, where you're literally living on 2 GB of data for the entire month.
Correct.
And it's a really scary concept, by the way. Huh? I keep thinking of it. It's like, people who've got unlimited data plan right now on their phones to be able to make international calls, to be able to do just about anything on their phone through the internet versus those who have to recharge their phone for something sometimes as low as 40 and 50 rupees.
So actually that also would be my wow moment of the show. Because I think it comes at a really interesting point in the story where, you've basically seen this amazing afterlife and then you're taken down to this really damp and dreary place where there are other people. So it's almost like the concept of haves and have-nots, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we tend to believe that death is the great leveler. Death is the only thing that rich, poor, irrespective of class, caste, religion, it claims everyone. Whereas life is where the hierarchies are formed. And this show basically then takes it to the afterlife and creates a hierarchy within that. And like you said, I think that's one of the most heartwarming moments because, again, like you pointed out, it's drawing from real life because in The Upload, like for example, because of his girlfriend's wealth, you can lead a life where you can do whatever the hell you want without there being any consequences because you've got what you call an unlimited plan.
Yeah.
But on the 2 GB plan, everything you do matters because you might run out of 2 GB data at the end of day 3 and for the remaining 27 days, you're can't.
Frozen.
You're frozen. So it's almost like you're really dead.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really heartbreaking. I thought that was a great comment. They've also used it very interestingly in the plot.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the wow moment of the show.
Actually, I had another wow moment, though it's not really wow, like this blew my mind and what a great moment for the show itself. But these little subtle comments that the show made, so they in 2033 also, they have obviously their version of a dating app called Nightly, which would be, Bumble meets Hinge meets Tinder meets grinder meets everything all rolled into one. And it's like, Nora's character earlier in the first or second episode is sort of getting it on with this guy. And before they actually have sex, they have to look into each other's app and say, I consent to this, to this intercourse. And it's just sort of interesting woke comment, right, about currently, because we talk so much about consent and the grey lines and how maybe in 2033 you're going to have to spell it out or you get none at all.
Yeah. Also, I mean, there is the whole, now that I think of it, there's the whole subtle racism of it, right? Because in the afterlife, you only see white people. And you've got a black girlfriend, or rather a black girl who is the human connect.
Yeah.
The sort of sales rep, so to speak. So, I don't know if that was deliberate, but I don't remember seeing too many black people in the afterlife, especially in the good place, so to speak, of the afterlife. Wow. There are like so many parallels with the good place here. But do you have a scene stealer?
My scene stealer, I think, for all purposes, has to be... between the two characters, between Nathan and Nora, I really, really loved Nora's character.
Yeah, she was just lovely, yeah.
Yeah, because, as much as, Nathan... was a great, he's the protagonist of the show. The show rests completely on his shoulders. But for me, I sometimes have this problem where I can't go beyond the looks and the plastic features after a point. Nora was much more human to me in that sense.
Yeah. But actually, Robbie Amell, who played Nathan, is somebody I've seen on The Flash, right? And I really was taken aback. So, when you see the trailer or upload to you, feel like he's been cast because he's that typical American good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Perfect white boy, so to speak. But he brings so much more to the role. I actually think he's a really good actor. But Andy Allo for me is clearly the scene stealer.
By the way, just because you mentioned that, the whole good-looking aspect, I love that the creators also made that into an in-joke where he's so vain. In the first couple of episodes, when your avatar is uploaded to the afterlife, it's like your angel, played by Nora in this case, Andy Allo, has to sort of, upload your avatar and make sure there's nothing wrong with it. So by mistake, she lets one...
No, she does it on purpose.
She does it on purpose to with him.
Yeah, just as a practical humor, what she does is she leaves the side of the hair kind of standing up, right?
Yeah, think like,
No, I totally related to that. That was such a great thing that, it was so great to see a strand sort of is sticking out, and whatever he does, because it's in the afterlife and he's basically it's just what would you call it? It's a hologram sort of a thing.
And
it's an AI avatar and he can't do anything about it and it keeps sticking up. And I kept looking at it and feeling uncomfortable because if my one strand of hair would just keep sticking out and everything I did to put it back down and it didn't work, it would be really frustrating. I thought that was like a really funny moment.
That's their play on his vanity, right?
No, sure. No, but it would just drive anyone nuts, right? Imagine like one strand of your hair sticking out and whatever you do, it keeps popping back up.
I don't know if I was maybe it wouldn't matter so much.
No, but the whole point is that he doesn't feel dead, right? He's supposed to feel like it's almost like he was healthy to a point and then he had a freak accident. He doesn't feel old. In fact, he's among the few young people in the afterlife as well. But Andy Allo just has this amazing, enduring personality, and she's just, I went back and of course read so much about her. She's really a songwriter, singer, one of the best independent artists to have broken out onto the scene over the last few years, and that's how she got recognized. And she doesn't have too many film credits, but you can't tell that from watching the show.
I think maybe that's why we liked her so much, because she seems so raw and earnest.
And she was just very, very comfortable in her skin, which I just completely loved. I thought they had great chemistry. And, it really is something, the fact that there are so many, and I keep saying this. So when I saw The Good Place, I said, wow, here's a comedy about the afterlife. Then came Russian Doll, which is again a show that, deals with morality, mortality, setting things right, alternate universes, and that too does it in a black comedy humor, sort of a space. And now it's here. So it's clear that, directors and creators are trying to combine this black comedy kind of a routine, which is fantastic. And yay for Greg Daniels, who had a bomb on Netflix the same month he had uploaded with Space Force.
Which we didn't hate.
No, I didn't hate.
As much as it's kind of gone.
Yeah, I didn't hate Space Force, but what I'm trying to say is that Space Force was probably the most hyped shows of the years, right?
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
of the
like
cast.
Greg Daniels and Steve Carell coming back together since The Office. They both co-created the show, big budget show, interesting plot. I genuinely did not hate Space Force. I didn't love it. A lot of the jokes fell flat, but I was also not seeing it as a comedy throughout. I felt it was more in the dramedy
It was
space.
a dramedy, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I think by the end of it, I didn't mind it. I was like,
no, I didn't hate it either. I thought the finale was weak. I thought the first couple of episodes, it takes a while to get going. But once you know the characters, and I think that both Steve Carell and John Malkovich is just their chemistry and their scenes are
I
great.
love John Malkovich. I think I enjoyed John Malkovich more than Steve Carell. Like if they did a season 2 of Space Force, I'd totally watch it.
Yeah, and I think that it was a big month for Greg Daniel because it started with Upload on Amazon, it ended with Space Force on Netflix, both big shows.
He must have expected that one will do okay.
Yeah,
and
everybody
Space
thought
Force
that
will go through the
Space
roof.
Force would be like this through the roof, yeah, and Upload would be like a dark horse.
It's just
but
the
Upload,
opposite.
and I mean, it's amazing. It's exciting times. I'm actually looking forward to season 2 of both shows.
Yeah, and I also think that the way they've ended season 1 of Upload, you and I were discussing it. It allows maybe for so many interpretations, and if they play their cards right, I mean, you could see like Upload for multiple seasons.
Yeah.
And the tech is only going to get better. The ideas are going to get stronger because I do actually think that a lot of those ideas are probably already in like multiple companies, largely
In the
Facebook. Developing many of those apps. And
They
coming
make
up.
references to Facebook and they make a lot. It's also in a sense Silicon Valley. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Upload borrows from so many genres, but it still makes it work so well. Yeah, I really liked the show. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
It also solves, I mean, if any of that tech were to really happen, it would really solve one of Anirudh's big problems in life.
Which is?
Self-driven cars.
Self-driven cars, yeah. But that's also, well, that's spoiler territory. But that's also how he dies. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want a self-driven
It's literally in the trailer that he dies in a car.
in
so
a
it's
self-driven
not
car.
a problem.
But yeah, Upload 10 episodes are up on Amazon Prime. It's an extremely bingeable show. And in fact,
Yeah.
I mean, Janice and I have been caught up with work. So we didn't really binge it in one day because, but every night, I remember when we were putting it off, we'd be like, should we watch one more episode? And I think we finished it over 3 days of watching three episodes a night.
But honestly, that's because
But-
we were busy. So if
Yeah.
you actually have an entire day, it's an easy, breezy,
It's a very
show.
easy weekend binge. On the bingeometer, it's a cup of strong black coffee. It'll get you wired to the internet. Actually, to the afterlife.
All right, guys. So that was our episode this week. And if you enjoyed this podcast, then do remember to send your feedback, your comments, anything that you want to tell Anirudh and me. I'm at Janisek85.
For example, the fact that we should watch the show called Upload, which was recommended to us by Savar Suri, one of our, he gives us feedback all the time. And the day Upload came out, he watched it. He tagged both of us on Twitter like he does religiously and said, guys, please check it out. We were anyway going to watch it.
Yeah.
But he was really quick, I remember. It's like the show had launched in the morning and by evening he had already tagged us and said we had to watch it.
Yeah,
so
sorry,
thanks,
Savar.
Savar.
It took us a while to get around
Yeah,
to it.
well, because we had a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, please similarly keep sending us recommendations.
Yeah, guys, because sometimes what happens is there's so much content coming out that even though we want to get around to watching all of those shows, sometimes it's just not possible. So if you actually write to us and say, no, listen, I want to hear your thoughts, what you guys have to say about this show, we'll probably have more incentive to do it. And if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to check out other similar podcasts on the IVM Podcast Network. You can follow them at IVM Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, you can go check out their website, ivmpodcast.com. And if you want to give Anirudh and me some feedback, well, you can reach out to us on our social media pages. I'm at Janisek85 on Instagram and Twitter. And Anirudh, of course, is at Aniguha on Instagram and Twitter. That was our episode this week, guys. We'll see you again, same place, next week.
Stay home and stay safe.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. It really has been a great week this week. We've had 2 of our first international cricketers show up, people who have played for their respective sides. We had W.V. Raman come on Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast. If you haven't heard that, you should be listening to that if you enjoy cricket. It's really one of the best out there. And you should also definitely check out Monty Panesar, who showed up on Cyrus Says. That was another really interesting conversation that occurred. If you haven't been listening to a few of our shorter shows, please do that as well. Ashish Vidyarthi has been doing a great job for us. We got 30 episodes now on Begin the Journey. I think you really enjoyed that show. If you haven't listened to it, it helps you with understanding what's going on in this tough time and how to deal with it from a mental health perspective. We've also had some really fun stuff come up on the Smile India show. Shifa's been doing a lot of really good stories over there. Things would just make you happy, so definitely do check that out. And on the more serious side, make sure that you're checking out our regular shows like the Pragati Podcast, All Things Policy. They're definitely going to keep you up to date on what's going on in this COVID world. And thanks for listening, and we hope to catch you again next week.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.